let's flip this coin and we can see how much money I have to spend on books in July of 2024, or however long it gets me. Hey, I'm Kathy Allen. I am a writer, a reader, a content creator, a mama, a Ninja Warrior athlete, and someone who buys a lot of books and then just doesn't read them. In an effort to stop that, I came up with this little coin flip challenge. I'm going to be talking about the books that I read at the end of May. I think it was like a couple days left in May. I came up with this, and all of June 2024. I'm filming in July right now. Here's how it basically works. If it is a book that I already have in my house, then I flip the coin twice. If I get heads, I get $1. If I get tails, I get $2. At least that's what I think I said in the original video. I'll link it for you here, but I believe that I just would have done like 2 tails. That makes sense to me. And if it's a book that is not in my TBR pile, then I just get to flip it once. And then whatever money I make, I can spend on books. Does this mean that I didn't buy any books in June? That is correct. I did not use any new money to buy books in June. And I know you're like, new money? What does that even mean? That means that I did go 2 times to a used bookstore to trade books in, but I only bought books on credit. Even the time that the amount of credit we got when we traded the books in wasn't enough to cover the books that we bought, we still had credit left over from a previous time. So I did buy some books, which you'll hear me talk about, and trying to figure out where do they fall in the flip 1 or flip 2, and read them, so I'll be flipping for them. But that's what I limited myself to. I did not buy any new books for me in June of 2024, which is a huge accomplishment because I love buying books. Now, let's talk about my goals here. I really want to get the book Democracy or Else. That is $28. It's a hardcover. Come on, guys, you couldn't release it as a simultaneous paperback. I would have loved that. I also want to get the hardcover Something Maybe Magnificent, which is written by one of my good friends who's an excellent writer. And my pie in the sky dream is to also get the paperback edition of Adult Survivors of Toxic Family Members, because I listened to it a little while ago and I really loved it, and I want to get it in my hand so I can underline and do all of the things. All 3 of those books together are $65. Remember I said that's my pie in the sky dream. Let's see how many books I read and how many flips I'm going to be able to do. I'm going to scoot over real quick because I'm going to pull up my data from the Storygraph, which is an app where you can track your reading that is not owned by Amazon. So if you want to switch, you totally should. They even have a way you can import your data. All right, so let's pull it up on my phone. I love tracking all of this on the Storygraph. It's so beautiful, and I've already met my reading goal for the year, which is very exciting. Let's look at all the books just real quick. I read a lot. I think that this challenge inspired me to read a lot, particularly ones that I already had on my TBR pile. I'm going as far back as Frank Turner because I remember I was reading that book when I came up with this idea. So here's the total for you. I read 20 books from, I really think it was the last couple days of May, all the way through June. 12 of those books are double flip books. A couple of them are a little questionable, but I'll take you through that as we go, which means they are books that I already owned. And 8 are ones that I did not own. Most of these came from the library. I'm not going to do a full review of each book as I flip here, but I'll talk really quickly about it because why not? I got to do something while I'm flipping, right? And I'll keep a little tally as we go. 12 books with 2 flips each and 8 books with 1 flip each. The odds are literally 50-50. So if I'm doing my math right, that means I am going to end up with somewhere around $48, which would allow me to at least get Democracy or Else and one of the other 2 books. So let's see what happens. The first book I'm flipping for is this Frank Turner book. I have had this forever. Like I probably should be flipping at least like 6 times for this, but that's not how this works. I was very happy to read it. I loved it. I love his music, and let's flip. Oh my gosh, it's spinning. Tails! So that's 2 and another one. You don't even need to like him, and heads for you to like this book. Okay, we are at $3 so far. Next one up is The Color of Always. I got this sent to me from a publisher. It's a collection of LGBTQ plus comics, and I wanted to make sure I could read it and then give it away for Pride Month, and it was really enjoyable. Let's see, it is spinning a lot. You can hear tails. Okay, how much you want to bet this one is heads? Let's see. Tails again! Okay, so we are up to $7. Next up is Her Radiant Curse. I absolutely love this author. I bought this book, I believe, on Independent Bookstore Day, which was the end of April, so read it pretty quickly. And let's see what I get. Ooh, that landed on the computer. Tails again. I promise you I'm not cheating. You see me. I have it on my finger. This is my strategy. And I go ping like that. Okay, we got a tails and a heads. So far, we are 3 for 3 tails first. So now we're up to $10. All right, next up we have Unravel the Dusk. So this is the second book in the series by the same author that Her Radiant Curse is by, but it's not the same series, but it's in the same world. This one was one of the ones that I got with my trade-in credit. So I did get it in the month of June. The reason I'm deciding to flip twice for this is because I want to celebrate the fact that I got a book and I read it quickly. I mean, I would have flipped twice no matter how long it took me to read it, but I'm not just like getting books and then reading them to flip twice. You know what I mean? Like, this is still the same thing, and that's going to happen with a couple other books that come up. So let's see. First flip, we got heads. We ruined our streak. And next flip is tails. Okay, so we are doing pretty good here. Right on track to average, at least for the 2 flips, $3 a book, which is great because that would put me at $36. All right, next up we have Before They Were Artists. This is another one that I got from the used bookstore and read and really liked it. Whoa. Okay, that's tails. That one went like way over the place. It's all about children's book illustrators and their childhood, and it really inspired me and my daughter. So I suggest checking it out if you can. And another head. We're right on track here. $16 total. The next one is See No Color. I bought this one while I was working at Bard's Alley, so that means at least 2 years ago. I'm really happy that I finally read it. I really enjoyed it. We got tails again. It's like a baseball book and a transracial adoption and all kinds of interesting stuff. Ooh, we're spinning for a heads. I wonder if this is going to be unpredictable at all. We've got A Little Bit Country. Oh my goodness, I think I got this right when it came out, so maybe a couple years ago. I'm still thinking about this book. YA novel about some country music singer and basically a place like Dollywood where he works and meets someone to fall in love with. And there's a tails. So we got R2 again. And I love that he wants to be the first big gay country singer, and then he finds out there might have been another big gay country singer that is just hasn't told anyone their story. And heads again. All right, we have Stamped up next. This is the graphic novel. I really enjoyed this. I got it a while ago and I was reading it at sort of a slow pace because it's a lot to take in. Oh, we got tails again. Will it be heads? Probability is like... Oh, another tails. That's 2 times that we got double the tails. We're up on the probability. Next one is Lore of the Wilds. I really enjoyed this. It was a little bit spicy, fantasy, first in a series. It didn't say that when I started reading it, so I was a little miffed with the way it ended, but it was a very interesting read, and I'm always going to read a book about someone who hangs out in an enchanted library. It has fae, too, so I might want to do that. Okay, the first one was heads, and the second one was heads. I feel like all of the progress we just made has just slipped away. All right, Summer Romance. I got this from a little free library and I read it so quickly. I absolutely loved it. You should check it out. The story is so good about like remembering who you used to be, kind of like a high school crush, gets to go out with someone that he liked in high school. Oh, heads again. I really, really enjoyed it. I'm going to lend it to a friend to read. Heads again. Okay, so we're up to 29. We got 2 more left. The next one is The Gift. This is an audiobook I had forever. A survivor from Auschwitz who became a psychologist, and this is an excellent book about figuring out how to deal with difficult things in your life. Come on, we need a tail. Heads. We're on a really sad streak here, people. What's it gonna take? Come on. Heads again. This is not good. And the last one is Daughter of Mine. I picked this one up at a little free library. I'm not typically the person who reads like murder mystery thrillers, but this one looked really good because it's a small town and the lake is drying up and they find a car, and I read it in one night. So I recommend that you read it as well. Come on, tails. Heads again. This is not good. We're due for a tails. Hey, there's a tails. Okay. We made it through the 2 flips with 34. So we have $34. So we're $2 off. We had 2 that were $4 and 3 that were only $2. So that threw us off. On to the 1 flips. The first one we have is The Psychology of Money. I just see all of these bros who share about personal growth books online sharing this book. So I thought I would read it. I got it from the library as an ebook. It was okay. I mean, I like that it had like mindset around money, but it was kind of heavily skewed to investing and stuff, which I'm not super interested in. I mean, we have investments. I got 2 and I do handle them. So maybe I didn't really need all this stuff. I just flipped twice when I wasn't supposed to. Whoops. But the first one I got, it was tails. So I got a 2 for that. So on the one flip side, we're up to $2 at the start. This next one is a novel love story. I read this as an advanced reader copy and I think I downloaded it fresh. I can't really remember, but I'm just giving myself one flip for it. So here we go. Heads. It was a very, very good book though. You should check it out if you love reading and you love romance. Like, it's got everything in there. This woman enters the world accidentally of the book that she's reading. So there's a little bit of magical realism as well. Okay, we have Spin the Dawn. This was from the library. Remember Unravel the Dusk? The one that I got from the used bookstore. It's the second book in that duology. So I read Spin the Dawn first, but here we go. Tails, $2. So we're up to $5 on this side. And remember we said there's 8 of them. So we predicted that we would get 12. So far we're up to 5 and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left. We could get 15. Who knows? I'm just going to do rapid fire flipping for these. This is the Mars Patel series. I read all 3 books from the library. These are recommended by someone who watches my YouTube channel to me, and I really like them. Sci-fi, middle school, friendship, really adventurous. So let's see what we got. We got 1 tail for number 1. We got 1 tail for number 2. And 1 tail for number 3. Beer, beer, beer. That means we're already up to 11 and we have 2 left. So we're already going to go over the projection, even if I get heads for the next 2. The next one was A First Time for Everything. I saw this graphic novel at the library. I really loved Dan Santat. I heard so much about this book that I knew I wanted to read it. So let's give it a flip. And we got heads, of course. But we're up to the average now of 12. And last one was Milk and Mocha. Super cute, adorable little comic. When I was looking through one of the apps that I have hooked up to my library, I saw this because I read a lot of comics on Hoopla. And oh my goodness, so adorable. Okay, last one. Heads, of course. All right, so it's $13 there. So we have 34 plus 13 equals $47. What did I say that we would most likely come up with? I think it was 48, right? Yes, because for the 2 flips, if it were the true 50-50 average, it'd be 36. And for the 1 flip, if it were the true 50-50 average, it'd be 12. So 48 was what would happen if we hit the average. So a little below average, $47. So like I said, I can get Democracy or Else and one of the other books. Hey, I think that was pretty good and pretty fun. And I'm going to keep up with it this month as well. I'm not sure how long I will do this because eventually I am going to run out of books that I already have at home. But I think it's a fun challenge to do for now. And it definitely got me thinking about reading more books from home and thinking about not buying books as much. I know I definitely can't do this during November because Small Business Saturday. We're going to be spending money at bookstores because they're our favorite small businesses. All right. I will try to work on a video for you coming up soon, kind of talking a little more about each of these books because I've been wanting to do monthly reading recaps and I have a little more time now. I also noticed that I am wearing the same dress that I wore in the video where I talked about the coin flip challenge. So I think from now on, I just have to wear this when I do my recap because why not? I hope you found some good books. I hope you had fun watching me flip. Until next time, happy reading.